Welcome, readers. Sometimes when I'm reading, even now that I'm grown up, I come across a challenging word that is hard for me to read. Does that ever happen to you? We have learned together that as readers, we can use the strategy of breaking words apart into syllables or word parts to read tricky words accurately or correctly. Our goal today is to understand what a closed syllable is and to use closed syllables to read words with more than one syllable. Let's get started. First, do you remember what a syllable and a closed syllable are? A syllable is a word part with only one vowel sound. What does that mean? It means that when we hear a syllable spoken or we see it written, we will only hear and see one vowel sound. The letters A, E, I, O, U, and often the letter Y usually make a vowel sound. Now, sometimes syllables are a little bit tricky, and you'll see a syllable that has two vowels written together, like O-A. These two vowels can be in the same syllable if they work together to make only one vowel sound. The O-A pattern often says O, the long O sound, which is only one vowel sound. So these letters can be together in the same syllable since they're making one sound. Now, a closed syllable is a special kind of syllable. It's a syllable with one vowel followed by one or more consonants. How is that different from other syllables? Well, first, it has one written vowel. You will not see the O-A pattern written together in a closed syllable because a closed syllable can only have one of these vowels written in it. The second part tells us that one vowel is usually or always in a closed syllable followed by one or more consonants. So if you see one written vowel followed by consonants in a syllable, that means that you're looking at a closed syllable. Why does it matter if a syllable is a closed syllable? Well, knowing that a syllable is a closed syllable can help us as readers because the vowel in a closed syllable usually, not always, but usually makes its short vowel sound like this. A, e, I, I. Now that we understand what a closed syllable is, let's see if we can discover whether some words are closed syllables or not. Here we have a picture of a tree, and our label says big tree. Let's start by seeing if these syllables could be closed syllables by having one vowel. What vowel do you see in the word big? I see the vowel I. Do you see vowels in the word tree? I see two vowels here. I see an E and another E. That tells us something right away. One of these words is a closed syllable. One of these words is not a closed syllable. Do you know which is which? Well, let's look at the word big first. Does it have one written vowel? It does. The letter I and no other vowel. Is that vowel followed by one or more consonants? Well, it's followed by the letter G, which makes a consonant sound. Now, let's look at the word tree. Does the word tree have one vowel? It doesn't. It has 2 vowels. And those vowels aren't even followed by consonants. So we know right away that this word cannot be an example of a closed syllable. But the word big is an example of a closed syllable because it has 1 vowel followed by 1 or more consonants. Now that we understand what a closed syllable is, let's use closed syllables to read words with more than 1 syllable. As we start to divide words into syllables to read tricky words, there are a couple of tricks that we can use and things that we should remember. First, we have to remember that every syllable has 1 vowel or vowel team. Another way to say that is that each syllable has 1 and only 1 vowel sound. The way that we can make sure that the syllables we're finding only have 1 vowel sound is that we start by placing a dot under each vowel. Let's do that with the word that I have here. Do you see any vowels in this word? I do. I see O, and what else? O. Perfect. We've put a dot under our vowels. Now we underline any vowel teams. Do you see any vowels that are working together like E, I-E, or O, to make 1 vowel sound? E, oo. We don't in this word. And you know why? It's because we're working with closed syllables today, which only have 1 written vowel. So we don't have any vowel teams in these closed syllables. Then the trick that we're going to use is to divide syllables between 2 consonants. Let's try that. First, we know that the letter C is a consonant. It can't be in a syllable by itself because each syllable needs a vowel sound. So this first syllable will have the vowel sound that the O makes. Now, I see after our vowel 2 consonants. We have learned that we can divide between 2 consonants to find the syllables in a word. That means we're probably going to split this word between the M and the P. Let's see if that makes sense. Let's check our second syllable. Here we see that we've got 1 vowel, which will make 1 vowel sound. And the other letters are consonants. So this is perfect because this syllable has the vowel sound that it needs, and then the other letters are consonants. Now that we've found this, let's check to see if these are closed syllables. The first one, is that a closed syllable? C-O-M. It is because it has 1 written vowel, the O, and it's followed by 1 consonant. This is a closed syllable. So the O will probably say the short vowel sound, ah. What about this one? Is this a closed syllable too? It is, because there's 1 vowel sound followed by 1 or more consonants. And this one, the consonants S and T. So the O will probably make the short vowel sound. Let's practice reading this word with the short vowel sounds ah and ah. If it doesn't work, we'll try it again using different vowel sounds. Read with me. Compost. Compost. Now, compost might be a word that I just don't know, but I don't think so. That doesn't sound like a word to me. It's not a word that I'm familiar with. We tried this word by reading using the short vowel sounds because closed syllables usually have short vowel sounds. But I am thinking that this sounds like a word where the second syllable actually makes the long vowel O. So let's try to read this word again using the short vowel here, and then we'll make this O the long vowel O instead. Read with me. Compost. Compost. Now, compost is a word that I know. Do you know what compost is? Compost is a plant food, a fertilizer that's made out of old plants or pieces of fruits and vegetables that you mix together to make a really good plant food that you can add to the plants in your garden. I could use a banana peel and a watermelon rind and some leftover zucchini to make compost, and then this food does not end up in my trash. Instead, it goes back into the garden, and this will not end up in a landfill. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Great work reading words with closed syllables and practicing how to change vowel sounds when that short vowel sound doesn't always work in a closed syllable. Now that we've practiced reading words with closed syllables, let's read a text that is full of closed syllables. As we read together, be on the lookout for closed syllables. Read with me. Imagine munching on a plastic bag as a snack. There's an insect that can. Wax moth caterpillars have special stomachs that break down plastics. Waxworms can't eat all our plastic trash, but we might learn from them. Scientists would like to invent a tool that can break down plastics just like waxworms. Did you notice any closed syllables while we were reading? Let's look at one word that does have closed syllables. First, we're going to find the vowels in this word. What do you see? A and O. Now, these are not a vowel team because they're working separately to make their own sound. So we know this word will have 2 syllables. These letters cannot be in the same syllable because they make their own vowel sound, and a syllable has only one vowel sound. So we're going to have to split the syllable somewhere between the A and the O. We have 2 consonants between the A and the O, and our trick has been to split the word between the consonants. So where should we split this word? Between the X and the W, right there. This works perfectly because now we have 2 syllables, and each syllable has its own vowel sound. I also noticed that these are closed syllables because we have a vowel followed by a consonant and a vowel followed by several consonants. So these vowels will probably say their short vowel sound. A, ah. Read this word with me. Wax, warms, waxworms. That didn't sound quite right to me. Did it sound right to you? It sounds close to a word that sounds correct, but I think here we have an example of a closed syllable where the vowel does not make the short vowel sound. The part wax sounded right to me. That's a word that I know. But when I read warms, that sounded wrong. Here I see the OR pattern. Sometimes when we have a vowel followed by an R, the R changes the vowel sound. And this word, the R changes the O so that this together sounds like instead of R. It says So let's read this again, this time using the sound instead of the short vowel O. Read with me. Wax, worms, waxworms. This word is waxworms. Great work today reading words with closed syllables. Remember, if you see a closed syllable, first try reading that word with the short vowel sound. And if it doesn't work, try a different vowel sound. I'm sure you'll find so many examples of this while you're reading, and it will help you read new and challenging words.
This program is made possible in part by the Michigan Department of Education, the State of Michigan, and the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. Additional support by, and by viewers like you. Thank you.